Henry Ford didn't invent the assembly line alone. Thomas Edison didn't electrify America by himself. And J.R.R. Tolkien didn't write The Lord of the Rings in isolation. They all engineered something most leaders ignore: a deliberate peer environment designed to pressure test decisions and surface blind spots before they become disasters. Here's why this matters to you right now. You've built a solid business through personal competence. Your team is capable. But let's be honest, everything still depends on you. You're the decision maker, the problem solver, the bottleneck. And deep down, you know this isn't sustainable. What you need isn't another consultant or motivational speech. You need what Ford, Edison, and Tolkien had: a curated mastermind group, not the mystical nonsense Napoleon Hill wrote about in Think and Grow Rich. The real thing, the architectural solution to the leadership trap you're in. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to build and run your own mastermind group, the structure, the rules, the format, without paying anyone a dime. More importantly, you'll understand why this isn't networking or a social club. It's a forcing function that exposes the blind spots no team member, consultant, or coach can see, because they all depend on you too. Right now, your organization has outgrown your personal leadership capacity. You feel the weight of indispensability. You watch capable people struggle inside a system that doesn't support them, and you know it's your responsibility. You've missed family moments because you're always alert, always on. And sometimes, late at night, you're wondering if the real problem is you. Maybe you're not cut out for this level of complexity. Here's the deal. It's not you. It's the architecture. You built this business through execution, but execution alone doesn't scale. Leadership does. And leadership requires external pressure, diverse perspectives, and ruthless accountability from people who don't depend on your decisions for their paycheck. I've run over 100 mastermind sessions through my Coaches Huddle with founders, CEOs, and senior leaders from all over the world: IT services, manufacturing, consulting, healthcare. 2 hours, no recordings, no sales pitch, just structural peer accountability. And I've watched this format break through problems that had been stuck for years. Not because I'm brilliant, because the architecture forces truth to surface. Let's start with where this concept actually came from, because most people get this wrong. Napoleon Hill coined the term mastermind in his 1928 book, The Law of Success, and popularized it in Think and Grow Rich in 1937. His definition: the coordination of knowledge and effort of two or more people who work toward a defined purpose in the spirit of harmony. Hill believed that when people came together in harmony, they would create a separate, unseen third mind, a mystical force that multiplies brain power like connecting batteries to increase voltage. Hill got the concept from Andrew Carnegie in 1908. Carnegie told him, "I didn't build this empire through my own intellect. I built it through my mastermind, the collective intelligence of the experts, chemists, and managers I surround myself with." But here's what Hill missed. Harmony is overrated. Real breakthroughs don't come from agreement. They come from constructive conflict, diverse perspectives, and people who are willing to tell you the truth because they don't depend on you for their livelihood. The proof? The praxis existed centuries before Hill gave it a name. Benjamin Franklin's Junto, 1728. 12 tradesmen and artisans met every Friday evening to discuss morals, politics, philosophy, and business. They actively helped each other secure business and navigate challenges. This wasn't a book club, it was peer accountability for results. The Vagabonds, 1915 to 1948. Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Harvey Firestone, and naturalist John Burroughs took annual road trips together. They sat around campfires, debated, argued, and pressure tested each other's thinking. Ford didn't ask his employees what they thought. He asked Edison, because Edison wasn't on his payroll. The Inklings, 1930s to 1940s. C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien met regularly at Oxford to read unfinished work aloud and tear it apart with brutal honesty. The Lord of the Rings and the Chronicles of Narnia weren't written in isolation. They were forged through structured critique from peers who had no reason to protect egos. The mastermind isn't a feel-good support group. It's an architectural solution. These leaders didn't gather for motivation. They gathered to surface blind spots, challenge assumptions, and make better decisions faster. That's what you need. Not harmony, clarity. Now here's why most mastermind groups are garbage and what you've got to do differently. First, the echo chamber trap. Most people join mastermind groups with peers from their own industry. Same problems, same blind spots, same assumptions. You end up reinforcing mediocrity, not escaping it. That's not a mastermind, that's a support group. Second, the guru dependency problem. Many paid masterminds are just guru worship disguised as peer learning. You're paying $25,000, $50K, $100K for access to one person's framework. But that person isn't running your business. They don't know your team, your market, your constraints. You're outsourcing your thinking to someone who doesn't live with the consequences. Third, the lack of structure. Without a clear format, mastermind meetings devolve into venting sessions or networking events. No accountability, no follow-through. Just a bunch of ambitious people sharing opinions and doing nothing with them. Curation over chemistry. Intentionally select people from different industries, different markets, different operational realities. The goal isn't to make friends, it's to gain perspective you can't get from your own circle. Structure over spontaneity. You need a format, a time limit, a hot seat, rules of engagement. Otherwise, the loudest voice dominates and the real issues never surface. Integrity over agreements. Forget NDAs and formal contracts. If someone violates trust, they're out. You rely on personal integrity, not legal enforcement. That filters out people who aren't serious. I ran a session last year with a manufacturing CEO, a healthcare consultant, an IT service owner, and a marketing agency founder. The IT guy presented a problem. His team kept escalating decisions to him, and he couldn't figure out why. The manufacturing CEO said, "You're the bottleneck because your process documentation is garbage. Your team doesn't know what success looks like without asking you." Boom. Problem identified in 10 minutes. No consultant would have said that. Too risky. But a peer from a different industry? No skin in the game. Just truth. Let's break down the exact formula I use in the coach's huddle because this is what actually works. No recordings. Ever. People won't speak honestly if they're being recorded. Video required. You can't read body language on mute. Cameras stay on. No early exits. You're in for the full session or you don't attend. Respect everyone's time. No sales pitches. This isn't a networking event. It's a peer accountability session. Contact info is shared afterwards. If someone wants to connect, they can, but that's not the point. 1. Welcome and rules review. 5 minutes. Start with the rules. Get everyone aligned on expectations. This filters out people who aren't serious. 2. Introduction. 15 minutes max, total. Everyone gets 120 seconds. Firm. Who are you? What you do? What you're working on? No rambling. This isn't your TED Talk. 3. Round robin sharing, 90 minutes. This is the core. Each person gets 15 to 20 minutes to present a success, something that worked, a failure, something that didn't, a pain point, a current problem they're stuck on, an innovation or idea, something they're testing or considering. The group then pressure tests, questions, and offers constructive input. This isn't therapy, it's strategic peer review. 4. Closing, 10 minutes. Quick recap. What did we learn? What's next? Remind people to sign up for future sessions if they found it valuable. When someone presents their pain point, the group focuses exclusively on solving that one problem. No tangents, no war stories. Just focused problem solving from people with zero emotional attachment to the outcomes. This works because it's structured, because it's curated, because there's no hidden agenda. Everyone shows up to give and receive truth. That's it. Now, if you're thinking, this makes sense, but I don't have time to build my own group right now, I get it. That's why I run the Coach's Huddle, a free global mastermind group that meets monthly. No cost, no sales pitch. Just structured peer accountability with founders, CEOs, and senior leaders from all over the world. It's by invitation, but if you're watching this, consider yourself invited. Links in the description. Sign up, show up, and see what happens when you get honest feedback from people who don't depend on you for their paycheck. The structure doesn't matter if you invite the wrong people. Here's how to curate for maximum impact. Diversity over familiarity. Do not invite your friends. Do not invite people from your industry. Do not invite people who think like you. You need different operational realities, different markets, different constraints. That's where insight comes from. Quick side note. The same industry thing sometimes doesn't apply to mini and micro businesses. They actually kind of need same industry people. Experience over credentials. You don't need MBAs or best-selling authors. You need people who are actually running something, who live with the consequences of their decisions. Operators, not theorists. Commitment over convenience. People who show up late, leave early, or ghost sessions don't belong. You need individuals who respect the group's time and understand the value of focused peer accountability. Geography doesn't matter. My Coach's Huddle runs globally. I've had people from Australia, the UK, Canada, South America, and the US in the same session. Different time zones, different markets. Same commitment to growth. That's what matters. Start with your existing network, but branch out. Look for referrals from people you respect. Use LinkedIn strategically. Connect with people who are clearly operating at your level or higher. Host a trial session. Invite 8 to 10 people. See who shows up, engages, and respects the format. Those are your core members. I'm known for doing a flash mob style mastermind. One Autotask event in Miami, I invited half a dozen people I had meaningful conversations with. Ever so brief, but I could see they were on their way somewhere. Last day of the event, we all met up at the rooftop bar and talked for 2 hours. You can't pay for that kind of connection. In my free monthly Coach's Huddle, I ask people to only sign up once every 6 months. Why? Because I want to make new connections, not create a closed club. If your mastermind works, people will want to come back. That's good. Maybe you congeal a solid group of 5, but be open to fresh perspectives to keep the engine running. I put together a group that lasted 10 years. You heard me, 10 years. I didn't charge anyone anything. A few were my clients, even past clients. It wasn't about money. It was about making connections. Only one person left at about 5 years. We invited someone from another of my groups, and he's been in for 6 years. They all stuck together because they got something immensely valuable from it, and it never cost them a dime. Let's talk about what you actually get from this, because it's not what you think. Decision fatigue disappears. When you have a group of peers that pressure test your thinking before you commit, you stop second guessing yourself. You make decisions faster and with more confidence because you've already stress tested them with people who have nothing to gain from agreeing with you. Recurring problems get solved. That issue you've been dealing with for 6 months, someone in your mastermind has already solved it. Not theoretically, practically. They'll tell you exactly what worked, what didn't, and what you're missing. That's worth $50,000 right there. Your team starts trusting the system, not just you. When you bring back insights from a mastermind, your team sees that you're not just winging it. You're part of a peer accountability network. That shifts their perception from our boss makes all the decisions to our boss is building a system that works. You reduce the weight of personal responsibility. Right now, you feel like the organization depends entirely on you. That's exhausting. A mastermind distributes that weight. You're no longer the sole decision maker. You're the steward of a decision-making system. That's sustainable. I had a CEO in the coach's huddle who was struggling with delegation. He kept micromanaging his team because he didn't trust their judgment. A peer asked him, what would happen if you documented your decision-making criteria and gave that to your team instead of making the decisions for them? He went back, built the framework, and 3 months later, his team was making 80% of operational decisions without him. He didn't hire new people. He didn't fire anyone. He just changed the architecture. All right, here's exactly how to build your own mastermind group step by step. Step 1, define your criteria. Who do you want in this group? What industries? What stage of business? What level of experience? Write it down. Be specific. Step 2, reach out to 15 or 20 people. Not everyone will say yes. Not everyone will show up. That's fine. You're looking for 6 to 10 committed individuals. Use email, LinkedIn, or direct referrals. Keep the message simple. I'm building a peer accountability group for audience. We meet monthly for 2 hours. No cost, no sales, just structured peer learning. Interested? Step 3, schedule a trial session. Pick a date, use Zoom. Send the rules in advance. See who shows up, engages, and respects the format. Those are your core members. Step 4, establish the format. Use the structure I outlined earlier. Don't reinvent the wheel. Rules, intros, round robin sharing, closing. That's it. Step 5, run it consistently. Monthly is ideal. Same day, same time. Consistency builds trust. If you flake, the group dies. If you show up every time, others will too. Step 6, iterate based on feedback. After 3 sessions, ask the group what's working, what's not. Adjust the format, the timing, or the curation as needed, but keep the core structure intact. If you don't want to build your own, join mine. My Coach's Huddle is free, global, and runs monthly. I've already done the curation work. You just show up, engage, and extract value. Links in the description. Here's the thing almost everyone gets wrong about mastermind groups, and it's costing them years of progress. It's not about connections, it's about accountability. You don't join a mastermind to meet people. You join to be held accountable by people who have no reason to protect your ego. That's the value. That's what creates change. It's not about motivation, it's about clarity. You don't need a pep talk. You need someone to ask the hard questions you've been avoiding. You need someone to point out the patterns you can't see because you're too close to it. That's what a curated peer group does. It's not about learning new tactics. It's about executing on what you already know. You already know what to do. Delegation, documentation, process, culture. The problem isn't knowledge, it's execution. A mastermind creates the pressure and accountability to actually do the work. When you join or build a mastermind, you stop being the smartest person in the room. That's uncomfortable, but it's also liberating, because for the first time, you have peers who can challenge you, pressure test you, and call you out when you're stuck in your own patterns. That's how you scale beyond your personal involvement. You now understand the real history of mastermind groups. Not Napoleon Hill's mystical nonsense, but the actual architectural solution that Ford, Edison, Franklin, and Tolkien used to scale their thinking. You know why most mastermind groups fail. Echo chambers, guru dependency, lack of structure. And you know what makes the group actually work. Curation, structure, integrity. You have the exact time-proven format to replicate. Rules, intros, round-robin sharing, the hot seat dynamic. You know how to curate for diversity, experience, and commitment. You understand the real ROI, decision confidence, problem-solving speed, system trust, and reduced personal responsibility. And you have the tactical steps to start your own mastermind today, or join mine if you don't want to build from scratch. But here's the thing, a mastermind group is just one piece of the architecture. The deeper problem most leaders face is this. Their team sees them as the decision maker, not as the steward of a system. And until you fix that, no mastermind, no consultant, no book is going to solve the indispensability trap you're in. Ciao.